Hello all. How are y'all doing today? I hope it is well, or you are well, or you can report that you're doing well. I don't know. Do I really even care? I don't know. Does anybody? Who knows? I worry about that nowadays, really. But that's a whole different subject. Where were we? Knife review, of course, because that's what I'm doing here. This is the Civivi Cogent button lock knife. And this is the review of the Civivi Cogent button lock knife. Yes. Theoretically. Hopefully. Let us jump into specs and start moving forward on this knife. This is just under 3.5 inches of blade, so 3 point, let's call that 4, 5, probably. 7 and not quite 7/8. 4 3/8. Not terrible on the ratios here. Let's move on to comparison of other Civivi knives. This Civivi knife compared to other Civivi knives. Civivi Conspirator for full size and Civivi Elementum for small knife. And as you can see, the Cogent is closer to the Conspirator. Pretty darn close. A bit shorter. So it is, I'd definitely still consider it a full-size knife. It's a medium-sized knife. Now, I will say that the regular variant, this is not the regular variant, will probably fit the full-size knife. This one sort of feels medium-size, and we'll talk about that when we get to it. And it's pretty much as tall as the Conspirator. Thickness, in this case, is thinner than the Conspirator. The regular variant, again, probably a bit thicker than this. This one's actually going to be a little bit thinner, I think. And there's a reason for that. This is an exclusive variant. This particular one is an S35EN with this like ebony wood, button lock on bearings, flipper tab actuation, sterile blade, which always just always makes a knife look better. Standoffs, aftermarket pocket clip. So yeah, this is a little bit of a unique variant of this knife. I don't know if they're still available, but they probably are. I will try to link them down below, just this variant if it is still available. You don't have quite 2 AA batteries in hand grip size, but pretty close. I can still get a full 4-finger grip on this thing. If I really scrunch up, I can get a little bit extra, but if I'm just natural, I'm pretty much 1-to-1 with this handle. So, huge hands, definitely not going to work. I mean, this part of my hand is about 3.8 inches, which molds up to almost 4 inches, or about 4 inches here. So, that should give you an idea of what you're looking at. Weight. Also, this variant should be lighter. 3.24 ounces. That's actually great. The ratios are amazing on this. Hardware check. T8. 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 T8 all around. Love to see that. Oh, it's 10 today. Okay, it was 10. I was a little open. Thickness, 489 thousandths, which is definitely between the Conspirator and the Elementum pretty well. 100 thousandths on the blade stock. That's part of the reason why this is a special variant. It is a very thin blade stock, and therefore very thin on its drop and behind the edge, down to about 11, maybe 12 thousandths behind the edge. It's quite thin. It's not a full flat grind, but it's an almost full flat grind. You've got enough room to drop down, and the thin blade stock combined with this, the amount that it drops, yeah, it does get a little bit thicker out of the tip, so you got a little bit of strength there, but this is definitely a thin slicer. And this really does slice very well. I believe we are done with the specs, so let's just get into this thing real fast. You got a clean S35EN blade. The standard ones, I think they're 14C. Maybe they're Nitro V. It might be Nitro V. You got jimping, which is actually functional jimping, even though it's not the wire jimping that I normally like. It's a bit thicker, wider, thicker, whatever. It definitely works. Provides good jimping. Though I will say that I do find myself not bearing down on the jimping a lot, because you end up pushing into the flipper tab a little bit more than I want to be. I'm back here, usually. Which, honestly, with this ramp and a little bit jimping on it, which somehow also slightly works, yeah, it's fine. It's good. You got some options, basically. I guess if you're doing this, you definitely got some control. Good tip access. It is a clip point blade. The plunge grind is excellent. You have good separation on this particular variant. Again, can't speak to the plain one, though it probably wouldn't be too far off. And either way, your stop pin is not near the blade, so you can always cut in more oil. Stop pin is up here. That is one of the great things about most flipper knives. The flipper sort of prevents the stop pin from being right here because, you know, the flipper would hit it. Button operated with the standard plunge lock. Nice little bit of texturing on that button. Very nice. In fact, little bold out a little bit. It's a very nice button. It's the same button that's on most of the Civivi locks, but I don't know. It stands, maybe because it's just contrasting with a little bit of reflectivity here. It just stands as a nice... also feels like it might be a little bit taller. Moving on, C logo right here. Don't mind that, because it's off the blade. And let's be honest, the Civivi logo, when it's like this, with a little bit of reflectivity on it, and the silver, yeah, it looks good. It does. There's some jimping up here, and there's some jimping back here. This one does provide traction. This one's more texture, but... And then it is then followed up by further texture on this wood, which is really nice. It's got little hole aspirations. And something in there. You can actually see it right there. There it is. There's a little something sticking in there. Vertical milling lines, and just this little bit of additional texture back here, which is, I don't know. It really makes it something more than just, you know, plain, completely flat. It adds something, it does. And it's attractive in that regard. This is a wood variant. There are standard variants in like micarta and stuff like that, G10, I think. Pretty darn snappy flipper tab, honestly, as well. The flipper tab is high in ratio to the pivot. It does have good jimping on it, and it's definitely got the texture. And you just sort of pop. Now, when I first got this, I will admit, there was something weird going on with the button. When I used the flipper tab, the button would occasionally, when I went to disengage, get stuck. It doesn't now, when that's broken in, but it would get stuck, and the button would stick there, and the blade would just flop about. And so I basically originally was just using the button for actuation, because for some reason it didn't get stuck on when you just use the button. So I would just go like that. But something about the flipper made it get stuck. I don't know what that is. It might have been a wood thing with the wood. Might have been a slight misshapen thing. I don't know. It seems to have mostly gone away. But, I mean, I suppose that can be an issue if it's not done exactly and the tolerances aren't perfect in there. This is the only button lock from Civivi I've had that has ever done that. And I'd still consider Civivi's button locks and Wii's button locks to probably be some of the best in the business. Overall, I've never had a problem with any of the other ones. In fact, this one has even the least amount of stick, but it still feels like it's got just enough grab that gives you that little added certainty that it's a solid lockup, and it is. This one is centered, even though it might not be hard to see. Gotta do something. I gotta change backgrounds. The black's too much. Centered, no play. Good button lock action. Sucks right in to the closed position from the open, and the open pops really well. It's really hard to fail if you're using the flipper tab. Overall, the design is really good. This has an aftermarket clip. It comes with a budget clip. The budget clip was okay. It wasn't bad. You could definitely feel it a bit. A bit more than I wanted, especially considering this is, you know, a little bit more of a refined version of this knife. So I got one of Civivi's aftermarket clips off of Amazon. They're like 10, 12 bucks. And they're just titanium popsicle stick clips. And most, not all Civivi knives are improved by these things. Most are, though. I will say the, what's the word? Not the word, the name. The Wii Vision FG. I put one of these on the Vision FG, and it kind of made it worse. I think I've done the review on that thing, but I haven't done the summary. I'll have to mention that in the summary again. That knife, I think, is a little overrated, personally. But I know it's very popular, so that's a subjective and opinion. But that knife has a few quirks and issues that I don't love. This one, however, does not, and I really like this knife, especially with this pocket clip. It's super comfortable. The pocket clip is almost completely disappearing. Like, it's actually pretty much does completely disappear on this knife, so it really works out well. Got just enough height, decent, wow, words. Me have words. Decent. You know what? I give up. I give up. Let's just get away from the pocket clip. It's fighting me. Lanyard post thingy back here if you want that. I don't particularly do that, but it is there if you want it. Decent handle ratio for what you got. Like, this thing comes pretty close to the end there, and you can't touch the tip, which is nice. No one wants to touch the tip. Yes. I stand by it. Now, this is the KnifeCenter exclusive variant. The blade stock is thinner, the handles are thinner. I don't know if they've done the plunge grind a little bit better, but it's probably addressed a little bit differently. And it's an S35VN. This was a win when this thing came out, because I liked the looks of the knife, but the originals were micarta. There was a Gaborsha wood with the black blade one, but it was nothing special. But this one, with this sort of fine hand satin, or not hand satin, fine belt satin on it, which has a lot of reflectivity. It's really, really nice belt satin. This is one of the better belt satins you can get, in my opinion, for almost any price. It's really good looking. Like, there's not many knives that are doing that. That's really good looking. And the ebony wood with this milling in it. I mean, the regular ones have the milling too, to some degree, but this just really sets it off. This is really nice. And the thinness, yeah. It's hard to beat that. It also came in like $100 for the S35 variant of this thing, so yeah, all day, 100%. The KnifeCenter exclusive variant is pretty darn cool, and I don't know if a lot of people knew about the KnifeCenter exclusive variant. The regular knife is good, but the KnifeCenter exclusive variant is probably the best deal. I don't know if they still have them, but I will try. They came out a few years ago, so I'd be surprised, but eh. The only thing I can say, if I have to complain, is the flipper tab doesn't follow the flow of the handle. See how it sort of just comes out? So if you really do like get up there onto this part of the jimping, you can kind of feel like you're getting pushed into the flipper tab a little bit. It's not bad, but it's not as comfortable as it could be. But that's also why I live back here, and it works just fine because it gives you a little bit of space. So overall, the ergos also are fantastic on this knife. Lots of space, lots of room. Well, not lots of room, but a good amount of room. Still got a little bit there going. Kind of just around. I don't know about the pinch grip. The pinch grip is not terrible. That's surprising to me. The pinch grip is not absolutely terrible. It's not great, but you can certainly do this sort of pinch grip too, where you're using the side of your finger, and that's pretty good, honestly. The regular pinch grip is just so-so. Overall, I like the design and the aesthetics, and I really like this particular variant with this wood and this finish, and of course S35VN steel for $99, I think it was, or something like that. That's quite good. So, yeah. The regular variant of these things is like $72, I want to say. The Gaborsha wood with the black blade is for some reason over 80, which is not technically in the budget realm anymore, but just barely. But the basic versions of these things are budget knives, just sneaking under there, and they're pretty good. I think, as I said, I think it's Nitro V, it might be 14C. Either way, for that price, Civivi execution, it's pretty good. It's actually a little tiny bit cheaper than this variant of the Conspirator, though this Conspirator is a much thicker, sort of larger feeling knife than this particular variant. I can't speak to the original. But honestly, yeah, it's a good budget knife. It's a good design. It's got a little bit of extra stuff going on. I think it does justify even its base price point, and it certainly justifies this price point with this variant. I don't have too many negatives to say about this knife, honestly. It's really good, other than the little weirdness that originally happened with the button, which is, of course, not necessarily the case for all of them. There's not really anything bad here, and this is definitely an upgrade for the pocket clip. So if you do get the premium variant, at least the skinnier one, this one, I would suggest getting this. That's just me, but it also turns it into a $110 knife, which, you know, is 35 yen. Wood handles, it's still pretty darn good. And that's what this is. It's a button lock from Civivi with a little bit of extra flair. It's very reminiscent of the Storm Hail that came out, though that came out after this with the aluminum, but I think this is a little bit bigger, so if that knife was a little bit small for you, overall shape and stuff, everything was very similar, this one might do it for you. And this is good. This is a good knife. I really like this. Very good feeling, very, very nice. And the only issue that it had has went away, so it's a winner, no doubt. The Cogent is complete. Thank you for watching. I'm going to call a review here, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good day. Oh, also, reversible pocket clip, because button locks are relatively ambidextrous. Yep, that's all. See ya.